Alright guys, let me bring up the next comedian. Great guy. I'm really worried because this mic is pretty loud and he is one of the loudest comedians I know. Even louder than Chris. He already stands up because he knows it. Alright everybody, Scott Corkin!
Hey, how's everybody doing out there? Woo! I gotta apologize, I'm still on, this is a new thing I wrote, I'm still on the book with it. But, hey, it's a story, and you know, I'm more of actually a poet than I am a stand-up, really. But if you read somebody your poetry and they laugh at you, does that make you a comedian? Or just a bad poet? Once upon a time, in the far-off magical kingdom of Savannah, there was a very little girl. And that little girl was very, very little. Actually, she wasn't a girl, she was a transvestite. In fact, she was the littlest transvestite in the whole kingdom of Savannah. Even though the littlest transvestite was a very sweet transvestite, she was very, very sad because she had two big transvestite stepsisters and a transvestite stepmom who were always very mean to her. They would never take her shopping. You see, they went to the big and tall stores to get their elegant ball gowns and cha-cha heels. They would say, "We're not going to Junior Miss, and even if we did, they don't sell elegant ball gowns there or cha-cha heels." So the littlest transvestite would have to make do with what she could find in the dumpster behind the Goodwill. The littlest transvestite would always wait for her prince to come and take her away to his castle. But every time a prince pulled up in his car, the bigger transvestite would just run up and crowd the window. The littlest transvestite would jump up and go, "Choose me, choose me." But they couldn't see her out of the crowd of elegant ball gowns. And they couldn't hear her over the din of manly falsettos. So even when the prince came looking specifically for transvestite midget blowjobs, the prince pulled out a tape measure, 4'9". That's fine for transvestite jockey, but 4'7's the cutoff for midget. "I can hunker down," said the littlest transvestite. "It's just not the same," the prince said, and she left. The littlest transvestite cried herself to sleep that night. "If I was only 2 inches shorter, I could give better transvestite midget blowjobs than anyone in the whole land of Georgia." The littlest transvestite never got to meet her prince and never got to make that $20. And because of that, transvestite midget stepmom would say, "Bitch better bring me my money. Bitch better get cleaning before I chunk her skinny ass out on the street." So the littlest transvestite had to clean the castle, the whole castle by herself. And her transvestite stepmom and her 2 transvestite stepsisters would laugh at her and throw chicken bones at her head while she cleaned. While she was cleaning, her Goodwill dumpster ball gown would get even less elegant than it already was. Her transvestite stepsisters came home one day with a flyer for the transvestite ball, which would be crowned the queen of the Savannah transvestites. "Oh, I want to go," said the littlest transvestite. "And just how are you going to go?" said her transvestite stepsisters mockingly. "And what are you going to wear? Your dumpster couture?" And it's $20 to get in, and we all know you ain't never make no $20. So the littlest transvestite cried and cried when her transvestite stepmom and her 2 transvestite stepsisters went to the transvestite ball without her, leaving her alone to clean the castle. That night, the littlest transvestite looked up from scrubbing the stone floors, and she saw a star through the tower window. And on that star, she made a wish. And suddenly there was a flash and a boom of CNC Music Factory. And there appeared a very tiny transvestite, kind of a cross between Cher and Beth Midler, flying in on tiny wings, wearing Bob Mackey's Nightmare, carrying a magic wand and a shovel. "I am your fairy godmother, and you'll go into that ball," said the fairy godmother in a voice like Kathy Griffin on helium. "Now hold my magic shovel, and we will fly off to dig you up a ball gown." So swiftly they flew to the magic kingdom of Atlanta, and with the magic shovel, they dug up the grave of John Benet Ramsey. Inside they found the prettiest little sequin ball gown. She just had to stains and rape. And in the box, mini cha-cha heels. Just my size, screamed the littlest transvestite. And on top of tiara, with stones so pretty she could almost pretend they were real. After that, the fairy godmother took little John Bonet's skull and placed it on the ground, and with her magic wand turned it into a magical stretch Hummer. The littlest transvestite jumped into the magical stretch Hummer and drove off to the transvestite ball. With her new sequin ball gown, cha-cha heels, and tiara, she had no problem earning the $20 entry fee in a magical truck stop men's parking lot. As they arrived at the ball, her fairy godmother waved her wand and turned 6 dirty hobos into weightlifting rent boys, which carried the littlest transvestite on her shoulder and packed her into the packed transvestite ball. "Come back before daybreak," her fairy godmother warned, "or you'll transform into an unshaved little man in a dress." The littlest transvestite was borne by her magical rent boys to the stage, where she showed she could pretend to sing better than all the transvestites in the whole kingdom of Savannah. She outvamped all the other transvestites right up to the final, where she met the reigning queen of the Savannah transvestites, the Lady Chablis. Lady Chablis had been crowned queen of the Savannah transvestites many, many, many years ago, when she'd blown someone who had then written about her in one of his popular books. The littlest transvestite vamped the Lady Chablis to a virtual draw. She even juggled balls of several audience members as the talent portion. But there was one thing about being a transvestite that the littlest transvestite was not very good at all, and that was hiding her candy. Due to the tiniest transvestite singing gyrations, sweat weakening the duct tape glue, and the fact that little John Bonet was not buried with fabulous sequin panties, the littlest transvestite's penis of unusual size broke free and was swinging under her short ball gown, smacking her knees like a bell clapper ringing out Christmas. Missing my pages. Yeah, that's why I should learn these things. The Lady Chablis, seeing a way to quickly win the contest, bent down with an exaggerated look of shock. First to the audience, then to the transvestite, then back to the audience. The littlest transvestite was so embarrassed she was wanting to run home and cry, but instead she instinctively swung her lips and smacked the Lady Chablis across the face with her enlarged trouser trowel. The crowd rushed wildly to the stage, pushing aside the aged Lady Chablis, handing the littlest transvestite a bunch of roses almost as large as she is, and a queen's scepter, making her the tiniest queen of the transvestites. And later she met her prince behind the club's dumpster and made much more than $20 and lived happily ever after. The end. Are there pictures?
Keep it going, keep it going.
Get the pop-ups up.
I feel like if we ever lose a venue, it's going to be because of Scott's.